Boxing King Media in association with Boxstro. Chris Kongo, Chris, thank you for joining me. I know it's been a couple of days, and I thank you for giving me your time today to speak about, your loss on Saturday. So I've just got to ask you, man, how have the last 2 days been dealing with that? Because I saw you Saturday night, and I know you looked bitterly disappointed.
Yeah, to be honest, it's the kind of feedback and stuff I've been getting. It's kept my spirits quite high because the fight was one of the best fights of the night, or probably the best fight of the night. And a lot of people were surprised about my improvements, how I've improved in the gym and under Ben Davison, and also just a lot of people thought I won. I had a lot of messages. I was logged off of Instagram for a while, and I was logged off of social media for a while. And when I did come back, just happened to see so many messages saying that they thought I had won. Certain people had me 2 rounds up, even 3 rounds up, and a lot of people thought the fight was close, but I should have got it. But a lot of people are actually saying I should be British champ right now, and to hear that is uplifting, but also it's quite sad as well to know that I think they took the fight, they took the belts away from me, man. So, well, what can I say?
Yeah, because I want to talk to you about the fight. I just want to know, what was your mind frame like? Because, like I said, I saw you, backstage on the night, and you couldn't even speak, to be fair. So, what did you do? You went home, just for people out there, so they can try and understand, how did you deal with that loss? Did you lock yourself away in the bedroom, or did what was your, how did you support yourself from that situation?
I think locking myself away is never the option, because other things start going through your mind, and maybe too much things go through your mind during that time. So I think the best thing was to go back on the social media, speak to people, answer my phone. I don't need to switch my phone off, and just hear what everyone's saying, and get some feedback from it, and get some good or bad criticism about the fight. But apart from that, I ain't hearing anything really bad about the fight. It's just that I'm hearing a lot of people are saying that I won the fight. Simple as.
And just talking about the fight, the ring walk in itself, it was well publicized. There were like between 15,000-20,000 people in the arena when you walked out. Just I'm guessing it's the largest audience you've walked out to. Just tell me that experience of walking out in front of that crowd.
Very good. I think that's the second largest. I think I boxed in front of when Dylan White's undercard versus Lucas Brown.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was probably my biggest crowd that I'd boxed under. And just remember, then I come out right before Dillian come out and had the 6th rounder then. So I had been there before, and it had happened to me. This is the second time I'd been out on a big stage. So it was good, man. Another experience, another box ticked that I'd boxed outside London. And yeah, I enjoyed it.
You said in the build-up that your skills were going to be the difference, and early on, it's well publicized. And if you read all the Twitter trends, most people are saying that you won a lot of the early rounds, and you seem to use your jab quite a bit. What was that the plan? To win the rounds and keeping behind the jab.
Yeah, 100%. The plan was to take control of the center, which I did do. And the plan at times was to push him back. But I think what it is, the stuff that he does naturally, and the habits that he has, he would naturally be going on the back foot anyway. So that was all part of the plan. The first couple rounds, as you see, they were the stuff that I was talking about leading up to the fight. And they're the things that happen, So it's all there.
Like watching it as a neutral, it looked like after 4 or 5 rounds you was kind of in cruise control, and then the fight kind of flipped in round 6, 7, where Echo came in the fight. He pushed you back quite a bit. You spent quite a lot of time on the ropes. So just tell me what was going through your mind at that time when the fight looked like it was kind of turning.
Yeah, I think watching a fight back, I watched it without no commentary. You know, I think it's always good to watch it without commentary. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. It's like you see stuff a lot clearer because there's no one really telling you what they think or their opinion is that maybe may sway towards a certain person in the ring. So I watched it without the commentary, and yeah, I think a lot of the time on the ropes he was throwing shots, but there weren't shots that were really hurting me at the time, you know. And when I look back, the first time when I actually was on the ropes, I was actually catching and countering. You know, I was catching and countering every time he kept throwing. I was countering his shots, and I don't understand how the fight was still scored against him. There was times where, like I said, a few of the later rounds I did lose, you know, but a few of the later rounds as well I did win also. And I don't. I think a lot of people should watch the fight back and watch it without the commentary, and they'll understand where I'm coming from.
See, I've not seen it without with the commentary. I've not seen it on TV. I was in the arena on the night. With regards to Echo, were you surprised, or were you expecting him to come on strong in the second half? Because he seemed like he was kind of holding it back, or maybe you were just keeping him behind your jab. But he kind of seemed to just throw everything he had in the last 6 rounds rather than the first 6.
Yeah. No, we knew this was gonna happen. We actually thought he was gonna start a lot earlier, but we was able to neutralize him at certain times, you know, and we did a lot of the time. We did neutralize him. If you look at his other fights, all these guys, they always end up locking up, throwing and letting Echo throw 7, 8 punch combination punches. And we didn't let him do that, you know. He didn't let a lot of these punches go like how we did with the other opponents. And yeah, we worked on that. We worked on that, and it happened. There's only a few times he actually did throw them 7, 8 punch combinations, but that was me locking up on the ropes, which happened a few times, and there were the rounds. There were the rounds that I actually lost, you know, and there's not many times that I did that.
There were moments in the fight where both of you hurt each other. Were you surprised with how tough he was? And obviously, you're aware of your own toughness. Were you surprised by that? Because there were no knockdowns. Because the amount of times both of you landed clean shots, you both kind of used your experience to kind of ride them moments through.
Yeah, I was quite surprised, but like I said, I've seen him hurt a few times, and I thought I could capitalize on that, but obviously that didn't happen. But yeah, what can I say? I mean, for me, I knew I could, I knew I could take the shots, you know. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you was hurting these many rounds," and I wasn't even hurt. I like look at the big shots I took, and I kept throwing punches. I kept coming back after, you know, especially the 12th round, he hit me with a big shot, and that's the only shot he really caught me with. Apart from that, I capitalized and I come back. I come back. I threw my shots, and I actually caught him. But a lot of people ain't seeing that. They're just seeing the one big shot that he landed and thinking that he won the round. So if boxing is like that,
It's
then
an interesting
I can
observation,
do
that.
nothing.
Because
I can do nothing for the whole round and then just throw one big shot, hoping it lands. And let's say it does land, it doesn't mean that I've won the round. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I don't see what some of them judges was looking at.
I was sat next to Steve Robinson, aka Drago, who also boxes on boxer shows, and he was actually made that point about round 12 because he was saying that you won literally the first minute and a bit, and then he Echo landed a right hand in the middle somewhere, which knocked you back, but then you came back and kind of dominated the last minute, and he was saying because he made this point after the decision was announced that sometimes because that was the one dramatic shot. That's all people remember. And obviously, I'm not seeing the scorecards. I don't know how they scored round 12, but he felt that you nicked it by a round or two. But the decision got made. The scorecards were one was obviously clearly quite wide. You know, one judge gave it a draw, one gave it by 1 round to Echo. But I think referee Michael Alexander scored it 116, 113 to Echo. What do you have to say about that?
What can I say about that? You know, that is ridiculous. And I'm sure even Echo himself will tell you that's ridiculous. You know, I don't know what he was looking at, but what all of us and the rest of us were looking at, it wasn't a 160, 130. You know, that needs to be looked at. That needs to be looked at quite clearly, because I don't I don't know where that scorecard come from.
I know you're really downbeat, but could you take any positivity from the fact that Echo in the last 2-3 years has literally cleaned up domestically? He's won the British title outright already. Clearly a very underrated fighter. He's won his previous last 5-6 fights either by knockout or unanimous decisions, and you lost to him on a majority decision, which on the day if it went your way, nobody would have argued either way. Do you take any positivity from that?
100%, I take loads of positives from that. Just remember, he's a 12-round fighter. That's my first 12 rounds I ever done. You know, he said he's more experienced, and he is. But this is what us fighters do. We have to take the risk. I took the risk. I went in there with a 12-round fight. He's done 12 rounds more than twice, 3 times. That was my first ever 12-round fight. So I take positives from that. I take positives for the stuff that I done in there, you know, because that work, it didn't come overnight. If you look at my fight with Formella compared to Essuman, it's totally different Chris. It's not the same Chris. Do you know? So that alone will tell you that I've been working hard in the gym. I've been putting the hours in. And when we get this rematch, if the rematch can happen, you know, I feel like this is a similar situation to like a Groves and Froch, you know, kind of fight where the rematch can happen, like, and it can be big, you know, it can be a Wembley Arena, it can be a Copper Box in London. I believe I'm a bigger draw than Echo, and I know I can sell more tickets than him, you know. And to be honest, bro, it's only right we get it on again. It was the fight of the night, and everybody wants to see it. Everybody's calling for it, and I'm sure if we put it to Sky or we put it to whoever, they'll want to put show the fight.
You know, in hindsight, there's every chance Echo might decide to go down a different route because, like I said, on paper, he's beaten everyone in front of him. And if he decides to go down the European route and maybe vacates that British title, because he has won it outright already, I believe next in line may potentially be the winner of Danny Ball versus Anthony Tomlinson, which I think is happening next month or maybe early March.
Mm-hmm.
If Echo doesn't come through, would you be interested in the winner of that fight potentially?
It don't make sense to me, because even when I look at the rankings, I didn't shoot down that far, you know. I didn't shoot down that far, one, and two, I already beat a person that like a person in Sebastian Formella, who was a world level opponent. So really and truly, if that don't happen, we're definitely looking at moving on from that. And that performance there wasn't a performance where it was bad and I have to take a step down. That performance kind of boosted me up a level, you know. It showed you guys what kind of level fighter that I'm at. So I believe the British scene, I've left it already.
And like I said, it's quite a fair comment to make from what you've said there, because like I said, on paper, you've lost a very close decision, one round either way, to a guy that's solidified winning the British title and obviously beating everyone in front of him, and you've just lost, only just. But what is next for you if it's not Echo? How do you plan to get back in the gym straight away? Are you going to relax and chill for the next few weeks?
Well, I've had a long camp. I've had a very long camp. I was supposed to fight end of November, which happened. Then I was training for December the 17th, which got moved to January now. And all these times I've been trying to fight good level opponents, they all pulled out. And these are fighters that are undefeated across the globe, you know, and they didn't want to fight. And also when we picked Echo, we said yes, but we had to take some time off during that and then get back into work. So I think I need some time off now, just let the body rest and heal. It was a hard fight. It was a hard and great, entertaining fight. And yeah, I'll be back in the gym. Knowing me, I'll start getting bored from like next week, man.
That's good. Well, like I said, I think your stock has risen, and I think that's quite a fair comment. And I think most fans will be looking forward to seeing you back in the ring because you kind of showed and proved that you belong at that level, and you have made improvements under Ben Davison. So it'd be excited to see you back, Chris. Is there any final message you'd like to leave for Echo, or even your promoter Ben Shalom to make that fight?
Yeah, of course. Ben Shalom, you know what to do, man. I don't need to say it anymore. Um, it's the supporters that's calling it on even more. And me watching the fight without any sound made me realize how well I done in that fight. I'm sure Ben wants to see that again.
You know, you're
And
saying
I'm
about the
sure
commentary. Is it anyone in particular? Because obviously I've not seen it on TV. Is there anyone in particular that you're saying that's not
I,
credible?
I didn't hear anything because I watched it without no thingy.
Okay.
And after the 12th round, I was pretty disappointed in the scorecards that I just turned it off, you know, couldn't watch it again. So I really heard any commentary. Maybe I'll listen to it with a bit of commentary and see, maybe understand where the commentary is coming from. But
How
during the
did
rounds,
how did they score
during,
the commentators? Do you know?
I'm not too sure, but during the rounds, they had me up, you know, and if you see the polls, the poll at the end of the fight, even the poll from Sky Sports Boxing themselves had me winning the fight.
Okay.
So I don't know who scored that. I'm not too sure. But yeah, man. And as for Echo, you know we gotta run that back. There's no way you can move on without running that back. There's no way. You gotta make this happen. You gotta make this happen for the people. Make this happen. And if you are a real champ, you come and run it back and try and beat me again. But that ain't happening. Hell no. So he knows.
Chris Kongo, really appreciate your time and wish you all the best with the comeback.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.